One of the more fascinating additions to the morning hours will be what is perhaps the most interesting and acclaimed children's series ever made. It's called Sesame Street.
Some vintage footage there from the CBC archives. That was Lloyd Robertson announcing the first time Sesame Street was coming to Canada. And the program itself, Sesame Street, does celebrate a big day today. It was 50 years ago on this day that the program premiered. In this case, brought to you by the letters C, B, and C. Let's bring in right now Jelena Adzic to talk a bit more about the 50th anniversary of Sesame Street. So is it true? Are we on our way to where the air is sweet? Can you tell us how to get to Sesame Street?
Definitely. Let me do my best, Michael, because this is a show that deserves all of the attention and direction at this time. You know, when it launched in 1969, it was originally conceived to reach underprivileged children. That was the idea, because they had studies that came back and said that the schools are not doing enough. Their reading isn't there, the math, it's not there. So they decided to come up with the show, and it really had such an earnest beginning. I'm going to give you a look right now, and if you can think of now, fast forwarding to today, recently they aired a special. This was the 50th anniversary special, packed with all kinds of guests: Whoopi Goldberg, Patti LaBelle, Elvis Costello, Sterling K. Brown, Norah Jones, and yes, of course, I think Kermit the Frog made his way in there too. There you go. Look at the count.
Muppet News Flash.
I love the count. Oh my goodness. So, you know, when you think about how many characters they've introduced over the years, I think the hallmark here has always been diversity, both with the human people that we notice and we meet on the street, but also the characters. You think of Carly, for example. She lives in foster care and her family struggles with addiction. Julia is the first autistic Muppet character, conveys the message that we all have our own way of expressing ourselves. Seggy helps us gain confidence, and there was also international streams, so we introduced the character Mahbub, who lives in the Middle East. It just goes on, their dedication to try and speak to a wide variety of voices.
A wide variety of voices, and really also a strong Canadian connection, because of course the CBC was also involved with Sesame Street.
Yeah, let me give you a look at a photograph, for example, because they ended up including various Canadian characters. They were very specific to us, and they hailed from different provinces. And there you get a look at that. And then also, it's worth noting that at one point they actually interjected quite a bit of Canadian content that had to do with our certain rules that we had in place for Canadian content. But I think it helped the show even more. Have a look at this vintage find.
Porter has a caribou. Not me. Our porter has a caribou on it, and it's worth 25 cents. Oh yeah, it's worth 25 cents. Oh yeah, that's me.
You're going to be singing that all day, I know it. Listen, this is something else that they did. They ended up taking all of the Zs, replacing the Zs, that is, with Zs. So they really did have a bit of a commitment to Canadians, and it's just a really fascinating legacy for the past 50 years of Sesame Street.
Yeah, gotta love Sesame Street. Thank you for that, Jelena.
You got it.